So you might be surprised to know that I don't actually charge for what many people would consider to be a consultation or a first meeting. And let me tell you why. I used to charge for consultations to go to a client's home or prospective client to talk about their project and to see their space, and to offer up design advice and give suggestions and answer design questions. And I never liked doing it. Is that crazy? I don't think so. I think we get to decide what we like to do, what we don't like to do, how we want to run our businesses, and what that looks like. So, for years, I thought I had to go and do paid consultations, and I had to go and I had to give advice and solve design problems in an hour to 2 hours at a stranger's house. And I just hated doing it. I always felt like the monkey being made to dance, even though I was getting paid for it. The pressure to deliver and to give great design advice and make everybody happy, I hated it. So about 6 years ago, I just decided I'm not offering this anymore because I don't like going. And most of the time, actually, when clients are interested in working with us or they want to bring us on for a full service project, they're not asking us to solve their design problems right then and there anyhow. So for me, I just decided I'm not doing consultations. I'm not going to go on paid visits to basically interview the client and then have them meet me and kind of interview me. I also determined that in my market here where I'm located, it is super saturated, like incredibly saturated. For a population of about 130,000 people, we have anywhere from 150 to 200 plus people, companies, businesses advertising interior design services. So our market is completely saturated. For me, I just didn't want that extra layer of pushback or barrier to entry to great projects. I consciously made the decision to take consultations off of my service offerings on my website. I don't even talk about them. And then when people contact me to work with me or want to learn more about how they can work with me, how I price projects, what I would charge, this is called a discovery meeting. We book discovery calls first. I always have a 30-minute call with someone before I do anything. And then what we'll do is set up a time for me to go and see this house or the space, go and meet the clients and just get to know people in person. Now, I know this is a controversial subject for many people because for years everyone has been it's been hammered down our throats that we have to charge for our time. I fully agree with that. If you are going to someone's home and they have questions prepared and they need answers to these questions and they have samples and they have things they want you to look over and pick out and help them determine what they're using to move forward without you, that is something completely different. Charge for that and expect to be paid for that. But for me, going to someone's home and really just investing, an hour or two of my time into getting to know somebody, that is what I've just considered to be an investment in the cost of doing business in my business. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it this way, but if you've just been feeling like consultations, the whole paid consultation thing doesn't sit well, you don't like doing them, they give you anxiety, don't do them. I've also found by taking that layer of charging for just basically the interview process off the table, I get access to so many more projects. Before, when I was charging for it, people are savvy, they're smart, they're calling around, they may have a top list of 5 people. And if you or one other person is charging and the other 3 aren't, you know who's going to get the invite to go to the house and who isn't. And it has nothing to do with your level of professionalism, your experience. We're all experienced. We all can do amazing work. If your market is really saturated and there's all these layers and barriers of entry to go and see them, that might mean the difference between landing a project and not. And for me, a couple $100 isn't worth it. I want the chance to go and see people face to face because I have found that when I'm able to go and meet them in person, they get to see me, they get to talk to me, they see my personality. I make sure I pepper our conversation with all the keywords and all the buzz things that show I'm a professional. I know what I'm talking about. I ask the right questions. Like, I tailor this interview meeting specifically so that if they're interviewing multiple people, I'm going to be on the top of that list once they're done of people that they want to consider bringing on to do their project for them. So yeah, if you don't want to do consultations, they don't jazz you up, don't do them. And if the idea of charging for an interview process doesn't align with what you want to do for your business, you don't have to charge for that either. Just make sure though, if you're going there to solve problems for people, you charge for that. That time is super, super valuable. That information is also super valuable to that person. So you charge extra above and beyond what your hourly rate would be for something like that. 100%. If you're just starting out and you don't have a pipeline, you don't have a roster of projects, you're really hustling to try and get your first clients, consider not charging. Wow them with your personality. Wow them with the insights that you have, the questions that you've prepared. Show them that you know what you're talking about, and go through this whole interview process leading the way so that your client has nothing left to do except sign on with you at the end of it all. Now, designers will agree, disagree. This is a major topic and a bone of contention for a lot of people. And the beauty is we do not have to do it all the same way. Sure, we want standards in the industry. However, you have to do what works for you. You have to assess your market. You have to know what the competition is like. You just trial by fire, right? You can try charging for consultations. If you don't land any of them, maybe reconsider what it would be like to offer no design expertise, no solutions during this interview, but go to the interview and don't charge for it and see what happens. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.